everybody, welcome back to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. Today we are making a tag. I'm making a tag because when I sat down to make something, I just felt very overwhelmed. And tags are great because they're small and manageable and usually pretty easy in the sense of, there's just not that much space to work on, so theoretically you should be just fine. However, I was really in my head that day. This tag took a lot longer than I thought it would. Fortunately for you, you get to see the sped up version and not the me dithering around version. So I've started off with some Distress Oxide ink and let's see, that's Speckled Egg and Uncharted Mariner. Such dramatic names for ink colors. Anywho, I just picked those two because they were pretty and I like them. I'm using this Crafter's Workshop stencil to add some black butterflies. I wasn't sure what to do, so I just grabbed the first thing I saw on my little cart, and this was it. So I'm using the Archival ink here because I don't want water to activate the butterflies. They didn't turn out amazing, but you know what? That's okay. This is fun, remember? Yeah. So my next thing is deciding if I'm going to put some stamps, and I think I will. So we're going to add a few stamps here. I've got my stamping platform, and I'm going to go through my little binder of some Tim Holtz stamps, the little ones that look like tags and numbers and letters, just to add some more stuff to this tag, because right now it's kind of boring. Oh, and here's one from Viva Las Vegas stamps. I really love their stamps too. They're just so weird and wonderful. And every order comes with a little pink flamingo. How can you not love that? So I'm going to add these in watering can, which is my favorite gray ink. And I'm adding them in watering can because I don't want them to be too bright or bold, but I do want them to show up. So going with a gray is a good way to do that. And get the excess ink off of this stamp. And this one is just rows of numbers. In fact, I think that's what that stamp is called. Love this stamp. It's got a nice old-fashioned font. And it's just rows of numbers. Can't go wrong there. So now I'm trying to figure out what else to put on here. So I'm grabbing some more ink. And I'm thinking something green. And I end up with pine needles, which is kind of a happy medium green. I thought about doing the wilderness, which I don't remember the rest of that one's name, but this green was nice. And I didn't want this to be a sad or a, morose little card. So the green is just filling in all these white spaces, getting rid of all the negative space, and just moving gently around the two blues. And I'm just using my wet brush to move the ink around the page and put it exactly where I want it. That's a really nice thing about these inks is you can do all kinds of techniques with them to get all kinds of different looks and textures, and have your piece turn out in a different way every time, depending on what you do with it. Now the tag starts to curl under the heat. So you can see me trying to kind of stretch it back. Sometimes if you dry the other side, that will help it curl back. You can kind of undo what you did. Now I'm looking for some stencils because we need more stuff on this tag. I'm just making this up as I go along, y'all. There's no grand plan here. Usually I start out with a focal and make a piece around that, but this time I'm just starting out with a background and going from there. This is a great stencil from AALL Create. I'm trying to remember. I'll put all the things in the description. It's stamp number 115, I know that. I don't know if it has a name or not. Spiral checked. There you go. It's a nice mix of checks, circles, numbers, some dots, and I'm just using regular white acrylic paint here. Usually, I like to go in with gesso or white paint to kind of push back my background if it's a little too crazy. So this time I'm using a stencil to do that instead of just putting the white on with the makeup dauber or sponge. I'm so sorry. I have sniffles today, y'all. My allergies are giving me a bit of a time. Like everybody here in Central Texas. So now I'm looking for, a group. And these three guys are just, I don't know, something about them says, yeah, these guys. So I'm going to make a focal out of them and some other scraps of paper and maybe some die cuts. Again, not really sure. So I'm just going through my box of scraps. And if you've been working on art journals and junk journals for a while, you've started your own collection. This is all great stuff. Don't throw that away because it can go on something else. It's kind of funny how thrifty and frugal you get after you do this for a while. So I've got a dictionary page, I've got a circular die cut, and I've got a few numbers, and I've also got these ticket stickers, which I haven't used in anything yet, so I want to use some of those. And I decided I didn't want that particular dictionary page, so I'm back in the dictionary looking for something that would work. I think I just wanted it to be a little longer. Also, the word juvenile was at the top of this page, and I thought that kind of worked in the sense that these look like, young guys. They're either up to no good or they're selling newspapers. Or they're selling newspapers and they're up to no good. I don't know. Either way, juvenile seemed to work. Okay, so now I've got the little distressing tool and I am just roughing up some of these edges. I just don't want it to look like a square. I've also got this die cut. I think that's a die cut from Paper Rose. I don't remember. Trying out the numbers, trying out some of these tickets. Now these tickets, they're all different colors. Some of them are paper stickers and some of them are vellum stickers. And I bought these off Temu and they just caught my eye because they're very detailed. I mean, they're obviously not real tickets, but they have just enough detail to kind of be good fakes, I guess, and add some visual interest. So this particular one, it's another shade of blue-green, and it kind of blends into the background without being too noticeable, but gives a little hint of stuff. And then finally, one more round thing just to kind of have, a little consistency of shapes. Since I have that big circle up top, I said, well, what about another circle? So I'm using a Tim Holtz dial down there on the bottom. So now I'm going to glue all these pieces together as one big focal piece. And you can do that in a lot of ways. So since that was a sticker, just stuck it down to the dictionary page, and then I'm using some extra dictionary page to put on the back of the sticky part that's hanging off. And I'm just going to trim off that little bit of extra stuff. And we're going to glue the fellas right onto the page after I make sure I've got the dial and the other die cut in the right place. And get rid of any extra glue. And I've just got to fiddle with this die cut just to figure out the way I want it to go, because it's got a lot of different little teeth, I guess, in it. And now we can put glue on these guys and stick them onto our focal. There we go. Yes. And make sure everything is nice and flat. Get all the extra glue off. Okay, there we go. And I know the butterflies, you don't really see any of them, but that's okay. In fact, before I put the focal on, I'm going to go around the edges of the tag and just give them a little color here. There we go. And I've decided, you know what? I need some splatters on this. So I found this acrylic ink. It is from Liquitex. This is the black one, obviously. I'm going to use a fan brush to just spatter or splatter. There's some argument over that, and I haven't had a chance to look them up. Add some little tiny spatters. Spatters. Okay, either way, we've got some nice grungy dots. And once those are nice and dry, then I can glue my focal piece on. There they are. And I've decided I'm actually going to let those tickets hang off the side. And I glue it foolishly. Oh well. I'll figure myself out one of these days. There it goes. And yep, I realize, oh yeah, I glued that part that I didn't need to glue. Oh well. Now I'm using my Stabilo All pencil to go ahead, give them something to stand on. You don't want your figures to just float in the air. I mean, unless they're magical newsies. Maybe they are, but I decided not to make these guys magical. They're pretty down-to-earth fellas. And we're just going to activate it with water. And I'm using a teeny tiny brush here. I believe this is a size 0 brush. They're perfect. You get just enough water to activate the pencil without making a big mess. Now I'm going to audition some kind of ribbon or string to go on the top. And I pull out a bunch of different stuff. I've got some nice black and white twine. I have that beautiful green satin ribbon. And it's kind of a toss-up between these two, but I decide to go with the green. It's not the same green as the green I used earlier, the ink, but it doesn't matter. It fits, and I like it. And it gives a really nice finish to this tag. Just do a very simple knot, and we're done. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I really appreciate it. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. Take care.